Hi, I'm Eladio Jaime, a sports writer at the Valley Morning Star.
And I'm Armando Garza from the Valley Morning Star.
And we're here to talk about the upcoming 2007 high school football season. We're going to take a look at all the three 5A districts here in the Valley, all the way from Brownsville to Sharyland and La Jolla. Let's start with District 32 5A, Mondo, where last year it seemed like it was a three-man race between Los Fresnos, Huaslaco, and San Benito. You know, both three teams, when they played each other tough. And are we going to be looking at a little bit about the same this year? Who do you think is going to be coming out on top?
I think we're looking at the same three at the top. You know, you got Huaslaco coming back, a lot of firepower. Obviously, you got Michel Rivas back. Dylan De Leon's back as a junior to run the offense. San Benito looks good. You know, they got a new quarterback. The defense is always tough. Mario Peña. Los Fresnos lost a few players, but I'd never count any Scott Ford team out.
Yeah.
You know, they always got a lot of talent, and I think they'll get rolling by district. But yeah, to answer your question, I do think it'll be those three teams at the top.
Now, with district realignments a couple of years ago, they added a fourth playoff spot to the format. Who do you think is going to fill in that fourth spot this year?
Well, one thing we know for sure is that Brownsville's going to be a lot better. I mean, last year was not happy times there for Joe Rod and Brownsville. You know, they got the three new coaches and Valdez, Chavez, and Helms. And I think they'll be a heck of a lot better. They'll close a gap in that district. But if I really had to put money on one right now, I'd go with the Lopez Lobos. You know, Coach Val Montemayor does a great job over there. They know how to win. They've been there. They're the city champs. They don't want to let that go. I do see everybody improving, but I do like Lopez to sneak in fourth.
District 32 5A, you know, first guy everybody's going to think of is Michel Rivas, you know, the super stud running back coming back for Huaslaco for his third season. Who else do you see stepping up into maybe the limelight, or who do you think can shine, be an outstanding player in that district this year?
Right off the bat, I have to say Jorge Mata from Los Fresnos. Caught over 50 balls last year, 1,200 yards, 20 touchdowns. They had a pretty good tandem there, and of course they had Jeremy Springer pulling the trigger, but it's going to be a little bit different this year, but he's going to be their featured receiver, and I think every time he touches the ball, he can take it to the house, you know. He's a big-time player. I mean, I see him having a good year. On defense, there's this kid from San Benito, Kevin Escobedo. He had over 100 tackles last year. Great linebacker, speed, sideline to sideline. He's going to be somebody to watch on defense.
Those San Benito defenders seem to come every year. There's a new one stepping up.
They love it there, yeah. We can go to 31 5A now, where you seem to have the beat there. Tell me what's going on in 31.
Well, on paper, you know, everybody this year is priority crowning the Harlingen Southhawks champs. They got a lot of talent coming back, especially on offense, with Sean Messick at quarterback going for his second ride as a starter there. He has a couple of receivers in Peter Maldonado and Joseph Bedford. Maldonado and Messick are preseason All-Valley picks for our publication. They come back on an offense that averaged 374 yards a game last year, but it was mostly on a passing offense.
Yeah.
With the new head coach Alan Cherry, they're going to run the ball a little more, and it's not going to take anything away from Sean, Peter, or Joseph. You know, they're going to shine like always, but you know, South has two running backs in Carlos Fruget and Carlos Martinez and Philip Fruget, who can both step up to the role and take over the running game. But when you think of 31 5A, you also got to think of the PSJ North Raiders. Those guys, I don't want to say they came out of nowhere last year, but a lot of people were picking Harlingen South to win district, and PSJ North came up, and you know, they beat everybody. They took care of business. Sometimes they won ugly, sometimes they won easy, but they took care of business, and it was mostly because of their defense. And this year's no different. They got preseason Valley selections, Danny Reyes and Michael Giles, who I think are going to anchor that defense. And if PSJ North is going to battle Harlingen South for that title, it's going to be because of their defense.
Now, what about the Cardinals? Everybody wants to know how's Manny Gomez going to do there. You know, everybody knows he's a fiery guy. What's going to happen with the Cardinals?
Manny Gomez brings a lot of energy to that team. Yeah, that's probably the best word to use, energy. And he's a great motivator, and he's proven to be a great coach as a defensive coordinator. I don't think he's going to let anybody down as a head coach. You know, just being at practice a few days, you know, you could tell that the kids already, they bought into him, you know, and it's not one of those things where there's a transition, because Manny's been there since 1995 as an assistant and a defensive coordinator. He's now taking over as head coach, and the kids love him. Those kids would do anything for him. And once the coach gets the kids to believe in him, it's dangerous. It's going to be dangerous for everybody else in that district. I still think that South and PSG North might have a little bit more talent. Maybe not more talent, but they're more experience.
The Cardinals got some talent, though.
Cardinals have some real talent. They just maybe lack a little bit of experience. They have 1 year under their belt. Last year, everybody was sophomores and juniors. They muscled their way to a 6-4 regular season record. They made the playoffs where they lost a heartbreaker in overtime to Wesco. But I see Harlingen, battling for maybe the second spot with PSJ North. I think South would take the district.
Who do you see getting that fourth slot? We got Edinburgh High out there. You got the Bears. Who do you see sliding in to that last playoff spot?
You see, with the recent passing of Coach Robert Vela, a lot of people might say, you know what, Edinburgh's going to compete for a district title. Nobody's going to count them out. It's a ball club filled with tradition, and playing with that extra emotional incentive of dedicating the season to their great coach. You would think that they're going to compete up there, and they will. I think Edinburgh North, though, is the team that is going to sneak in the fourth playoff spot.
They've been pretty quiet.
They've been quiet. Last year they were 2-8. They lost some close games, but they had the talent there. They had running back Oscar Hernandez and quarterback Randy Ramirez, who both ran for over 700 yards, I believe. And they've got the talent enough to where they can come back this year, and if they win a couple of games, they'll be in there fighting for that last playoff spot too.